Let's begin with that story on Kawira Mwangaza, where the political future of Meru Governor Kawira Mwangaza is now in the hands of the courts after the High Court gave the green light for her continued stay in office pending the hearing of an appeal in which she has challenged her impeachment. Mwangaza, who was impeached on Tuesday night by senators, moved to court to block her impeachment, citing constitutional, legal and factual issues. This comes as the courts and the Senate find themselves at a crossroad, with the courts blocking the gazettement of her impeachment that coincided with the gazettement of the Senate's decision to impeach her. Our reporter Gladys Mongai begins our bulletin this morning.
4 hours after the Senate upheld the impeachment of Meru Governor Kawira Mwangaza, the governor, through her lawyers, sought refuge at the courts as she challenged the constitutionality, legality and facts that led to her impeachment.
Pursuant to Article 181 of the Constitution, Section 33 of the County Government Act, and Standing Order 86 of the Senate Standing Orders, the Senate has resolved to remove from office by impeachment Honorable Kawira Mwangaza, the Governor of Meru County, and the Governor accordingly ceases to hold office.
Justice Bahati Mwamuye, sitting at Milimani High Court, certifying the matter as urgent, and issued a conservatory order that temporarily blocked the removal of Governor Kawira Mwangaza from office. The judge directed the Senate to file and serve their response to the issues raised by the governor on Wednesday, 28th of August, and Kawira issues a response by the 4th of September. The written submission will be received from the Senate by close of business on the 11th of September, and a written rejoinder by Kawira be received by 13th of September before the matter is mentioned on the 17th of September. The courts also barred the Senate from gazetting its decision to impeach her. The court order comes even as the Senate gazetted its decision, putting it on a direct collision course with the courts. The decision by the court to halt Mwangaza's impeachment puts on hold any plans to swear in the Deputy Governor Isaac Mutuma as governor. Governor Mwangaza was impeached on grounds of gross violation of the Constitution and other laws, gross misconduct, and abuse of office.
And the decision by the Senate to impeach Governor Kawira Mwangaza, which, if okayed by the courts, could toss her into political oblivion, in one that has been, there's been divergent views that among Meru residents in as far as that is concerned, whereas MCAs who voted for impeachment, her impeachment that broke out in song and dance, some of the residents appeared to support the governor's decision to seek legal redress, alleging political machinations. Others were, however, of the view she should vacate office to pave way for county development. Here are their views on her impeachment by the Senate.
Mama aende tu nyumbani roho safi. Tutafutiwe mtu mwingine, mtu anaweza kujali kila mtu. Mama si ati anatafuta vijana hapa machokorana ati anawapatia kila siku ati anawapatia 500 hapa wanakaa kumuimbia. Hapana.
Mama hajatolewa kwa kiti, ametolewa kwa kiti juu ya siasa. Na tunaona hata hiyo Senate haikufanya fair.
Tunaona kuna watu wako behind ambao wana fund ya MCA wetu.
Wengine wanaleta hapa tutaki. Tunataka mama aende kotini tukuja hapa. Mama aende kotini apate haki yake.
Naomba koti zetu msimame na haki, msimame na katiba ndio tutasikilia sisi.
Kawira na makosa ya kuwa. Mbona hawakuonyeshana ile hospitali anapelekanga ndawa? Dispensary zote za Meru Kawira amepeleka mandawa.
Kutoka mama ingie, hiyo miaka miwili alianza kuhangaishwa akiwa na miezi 3. Na hiyo kazi, hakuna kazi imefanyika kwa sababu ya MCA.
We'll be keeping you abreast of all that will be happening at the courts. The National Treasury has released 30 billion shillings to the Ministry of Education for school capitation, higher education scholarships and loans ahead of the start of the school calendar next week. The lion's share of the budget at 14.145 billion shillings has been allocated to free secondary education, followed by 6.1 billion shillings for junior secondary school and 5.19 billion shillings for higher education loans board, and 2.82 billion shillings has been disbursed to University Funds Board, with the least share of 1.6 billion shillings disbursed for free primary education. Now, this comes as the Ministry of Education, in a statement signed by the CS Julius Ogamba, pledged to work with all stakeholders to develop a legal and policy framework to consolidate the various bursary and scholarship schemes to enhance equity and affordability for learners. He at the same time maintained no university student will be turned away for non-payment of their household contribution.
Have set up the universities have set up help desks, and they will help those students who may not have applied by the time the university is open to apply for funding, and those students who may be having issues to again appeal. And we hope that the households will also make their contributions.
Let's go to the scales of justice. The Directorate of Criminal Investigations will know today whether it will be granted the 14 days it is seeking to hold 5 police officers from Gigiri Police Station who were implicated in the escape of 13 detainees at the station. The Office of the Director of Public Prosecutions told Trial Magistrate Martha Nanzushi that investigations have commenced to establish whether the officers aided in the escape, in which the alleged murder suspect of 42 women in Kware, that is Collins Jumaisi, was among the escapees.
Milimani locals wins the play doors to the men and women in uniform who allegedly aided remandees in the Gigiri police station says break on Monday. Prosecuting counsel James Gashoka applied to have the officers detained at Spring Valley, Runda and Parklands to enable the investigating officer to record statements from them.
And are suspected to have aided the escape of 13 remandees who are in custody for various offences. And I ask the court to take judicial notice that among the escapees is one Collins Jumaisi.
The court was informed that Corporal Ronald Babo, Police Constable Evans Kipkurui, Police Constable Molent Acheng, Police Constable Zachary Nyabuto, and Police Constable Gerald Mutuku were on duty during the material day.
And the respondents have indicated their willingness to lead to the arrests of those escapees. That is defined at paragraph 10.
During mitigations, the third suspect, Police Constable Molent Acheng, prayed to the court to grant her permission to go and attend to a sick child who collapsed Tuesday after hearing the news that she had been arrested and interdicted. The prime suspects in the alleged murder of 42 women in Kware Dam says Collins Jumaisi and 12 Eritreans are among those who escaped and are yet to be traced. Senior Principal Magistrate Martha Nanzushi will deliver a ruling this Thursday. Ruth Wamboi for Good Morning, Kenya.
In other news, the government has stepped up campaign strategies for Kenya's Africa Union Commission chairperson, that is Raila Odinga. A campaign team and elaborate strategies will be unveiled next week on Tuesday when President William Ruto officially unveils Odinga's candidature.
The road to Addis Ababa for opposition chief Raila Odinga will officially be taken over by government next week when President William Ruto officially launches his bid. At the event next week, Odinga's official campaign, consisting of technocrats and lobbyists from Odinga and government circles, will be unveiled.
In the next few days, the president will also be giving a formal communication to the nation on this candidacy. And there are issues that will come out, including for you to know who are going to be part and parcel of the process going forward. But indeed, some of them are standing with us today.
It's a transition. It's a process. It is not instant coffee. So you'll continue to be seeing different faces around me as things move on. More people will join, so others will exit. That is normal. There's no problem about that at all.
Though the government remains tight-lipped on the amount of money it will spend on Odinga's candidature, particularly on lobbying in and outside the country, Prime CS Musalia Mudavadi, who is also the Cabinet Secretary Foreign and Diaspora Affairs, admits that Kenya will open its purse for use by the ODM leader and his campaigners.
To be a candidate, apart from you fitting the bill in terms of competence, it will also require substantial resources because you are traversing the continent, a continent of 55 countries and a population of 1.4 billion people. So definitely it is not a walk in the park.
Mudavadi defended the nomination of Odinga as a transparent process that ended up fronting a candidate with experience and best chances.
We have the best in Raila Amolo Odinga. I want to make it very clear that any other issues at this point in time are sideshows.
Odinga and 3 other candidates who have expressed interest in the AUC chairperson position will be subjected to a debate in the coming months where they will elucidate their vision for the continent.
The issue of climate change is a major challenge. Africa is a victim rather than the main offender. But Africa at the moment pays a very heavy price. As you can see here in our own country, we live between twin disasters, floods and drought. Many of our people perish, livestock die in those periods. How do we arrest this phenomenon?
In this regard, our candidate is undoubtedly experienced and well prepared to participate in the live debates to engage the African people on how to propel the continent's growth and ensure Africa achieves its goals of African integration and sustainable development.
Odinga will square it out with Djibouti's Foreign Minister Mahmoud Ali Youssou, former Mauritius Foreign Minister Anil Kumar Singh Gayan, and Richard James Randiamandrato, a former Madagascar Foreign Minister, or angling to replace outgoing chair Musa Faki Mahamat of Chad in February.
Thank you, John Jacob Kioria, for that report. Now let's move on, where Kenya's legal landscape underwent a historic transformation with the inauguration of Dorcas Oduor as the nation's first female Attorney General. In her inaugural address, Attorney General Dorcas Oduor announced transformative initiatives, including the digitization of records in the probate and administration department and plans to digitize marriage records. Oduor emphasized her commitment to improving public service through open days, that is, offering free legal aid, marking the beginning of a new chapter in Kenya's legal reforms and community engagement. During the handover ceremony held at the Sharia House in Nairobi, outgoing Attorney General, who is also the Public Service Cabinet Secretary, Justin Muturi, expressed confidence that Oduor would successfully implement reforms, among them to delink the Attorney General's office from other government functions to improve service delivery.
I'm actually very humbled that my appointment and taking over this office has been supported by many people. And as a good gesture, I'm going to request all my colleagues here that from next Saturday, we will be giving free legal aid, will be an open day with the Department of Public Trustee. And for the first 4 weeks, we are going to work on Saturdays from 8 to 9, 8 to 1 or 2 o'clock, to clear all the backlog that is remaining in the Public Trustees Department as a good gesture to the members of the public.
One of the people that I kept consulting because I knew it was there in the ODPP was none other than the Attorney General, Dorcas Odwa. You know, it's a very, for me, I think it's a very fitting appointment that I'm handing over to somebody that I have so much confidence in.
Well, Labour and Social Protection Cabinet Secretary Alfred Mutua has proposed a 6% pension plan for domestic and professional workers abroad for their retirement under the National Social Security Fund. The Cabinet Secretary proposed while addressing underlying issues affecting the sector. Now, the Labour CS vowed to weed out rogue recruitment agencies that have been implicated in swindling unsuspecting job seekers and withholding their passports.
To streamline private recruitment agencies, Labour and Social Protection Cabinet Secretary Alfred Mutua has urged the agencies to adhere to the set standards, warning rogue agencies against withholding passports of domestic workers taken abroad.
The only way your passport can be taken away from you is a court order, where the judge says deposit your passport with the police or with the court. Only the judge can do that. If you yourself, mwananchi, umekaa hapa, the president cannot even take your passport, then who are you as an agent to take the passport of a Kenyan overseas? Who are you?
Addressing licensing issues, Mutua vowed to increase the license terms to more than 1 year for the agencies and increase charges for those not in compliance from 50,000 shillings to 50 million shillings in an effort to tame rogue elements in the sector.
The option should be a 1-year license is 250, a 2-year license is 500, a 3-year license is 70. Yeah. So remember, if you operate without a license, the fine is 50,000. Mimi nitaongeza zeros. Nitaongeza 50,000, ongeza 000. Sindio? Inakuwa 5 million or 2 years in prison. Yes. Sindio? Yes. Yeah, and then you are banned forever from ever owning a recruitment agency. We're also reviewing the pre-departure training program to address emerging issues.
Cater for the retirement plan of those taken to work abroad. Mutua proposed a pension scheme of 6% to the private recruiters.
People you're sending overseas, we may require them to have an account in Kenya, so that part of their salary does not just remain huko, inakuja wapi? Inakuja Kenya. But so you're saving 6% of your income, and your employer can chip in, or you just chip in yourself, and then that money gains some profit, so that ukirudi nyumbani baada ya 2 or 3 years after being over there, or 4 or 5 years, ama ukitoka huko contract yaribiki urudi, you don't come back here and suffer. You can go to the NSSF and withdraw a cushioning amount of money to help you readjust to life at home.
The Ministry of Labour assured the private recruitment agencies that the government is on a move to sign more bilateral labour agreements to enable ease and seamless working conditions abroad for the workers and recruitment agencies.
Mimi ni chap, nitaanza kusign a lot of bilateral labour agreements. Starting next month, we start signing. We sign as many as possible because they allow you to send people there. They allow Kenyans to work in those countries.